Welcome to the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast. This is where Matt shares all his ideas on how to be happier, more successful, and enjoy life to the fullest. Please go to mattogradycoaching.com and theliving.gratitudebook.com to learn more and receive your free micro-coaching session with Matt.
Hello and welcome to the Matt O'Grady Coaching Podcast, mattogradycoaching.com. Hey everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you are willing, I would really appreciate a positive review on whatever podcast source you listen to this. My YouTube channel, subscribing to the podcast. There's a lot of things you could do. If you are willing, I would really appreciate it. Sharing it with your friends, family, anyone who you think could benefit from it. Thank you so much. So today I wanted to talk about some of the benefits of self-awareness. Just to define self-awareness in the simplest of ways, it's when we are watching our lives and ourselves without being attached to it. So the intention, the aim, is to step back from the kind of usual way that we live our lives, which is, full throttle, just going, just doing, whatever we're feeling and thinking, we act on, etc. And this practice of self-awareness is more of watching the body. So we start with the body, noticing our body language, our body position, tension, stimulation, sensations of the body, noticing what we're seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, feeling with the sense of touch, temperature. So we're starting just with the body. You see how many aspects there are. Then when you move to the thoughts, we're simply just watching the thoughts, noticing the quality, the content, the types of thoughts that we're having, without any criticism, without any judgment, right? We're just watching. Then the emotional life. What are we feeling emotionally? Up, down, all around, right? If you're really practicing self-awareness significantly multiple times throughout the day, you'll notice we're almost always on some level of a roller coaster with what we're thinking about, what we're feeling about, our sensations. Our back is tight. We trip over ourselves. We drop things. All of a sudden, you just start to notice, like, wow, what would happen if I practiced more mindful self-awareness? Now, if you've practiced mindfulness, then you've practiced self-awareness. So this is not going to be, we're not going to go too deep into it, but obviously if you meditate, practice mindfulness, practice mindful yoga or qigong, those are some really helpful ways, just going for really simple, easy, gentle walking meditations, which simply means you're watching yourself as you're walking through nature, or even on your treadmill or your bike or whatever, but just practicing mindfulness, self-awareness. We're becoming the watcher in our lives. So for those of you who needed that, I hope that was helpful. But for those of you who have been practicing self-awareness for some time, I want to dive in to some of these benefits, because the benefits are varied and great and very related to meditation, although they seem to diverge at a few different points, but we're not going to spend too much time on that. The first is an enriched emotional intelligence. So you start to see things. For example, if you hear about one of your friends and some benefit that they had, you look on Facebook or elsewhere and you see they got, just this massive, beautiful, big house. Right? We've all been there where our first reaction isn't like, oh my God, I'm so happy for them. That's wonderful. Oh, what a blessing. We a lot of times our ego mind which isn't who we really are anyway, but it's just this knee-jerk reaction of, oh, why not me? Or I can't believe they got that, or, whatever. And don't even worry about it. It's not anything. You're not a bad person. There's nothing wrong with you ethically or morally, right? It's just the ego mind kind of goes through this compare and despair practice, kind of pattern. It's not a practice, a pattern of just comparing ourselves and wishing we had what other, coveting what other people have. And, whether it's full on jealousy or envy, I don't know, but it's just kind of this automatic knee-jerk reaction to wishing we had what others have when it feels, exciting or grand or special or, that kind of a thing. So that's really helpful to see, to practice self-awareness and realize that there's no reason to be jealous or envious or anything like that. And just simply either be completely neutral about it or wish the person well, or just notice the ego's reaction to it and let it go. Rather than pining away, oh, I can't believe I don't have that. I wish I had that. Why didn't, the universe give me that? Or, I'm such a good person. All these different things that, our minds go through. So when we're practicing self-awareness and we're evolving our emotional intelligence, we see that that's just a waste of time and energy. And anything else like that, when somebody isn't as nice to us, or they didn't greet us, or we feel like they disrespected us, whatever, once again, all ego responses to life. And all that does is sap your energy, make you feel like crap, and keep you stuck in what's wrong in your life, your perceived wrongness about your life, instead of engaging in what is good in your life and appreciating that and building your life from the inside out. Keeps you stuck on material, jealousy, envy, depression, worried, stress, anxiety, and all of it. Just a complete waste of time. None of it is worth anything. So guilt, shame, all that stuff just completely keeps your life stuck. But if you're not seeing it happen in your life, most of us never want to admit that we feel any of these things. But the truth is that most of us feel it almost daily on some level or another. So really important to be honest with ourselves. You don't have to post it on Facebook. Oh, I'm so depressed and full of anxiety and jealousy. Just know it for yourself and be honest with yourself so that you can stop practicing these subtle patterns. Because, even though it's not a conscious practice, it's a pattern that lives within us, geared by the ego, that we don't have control over unless we're practicing self-awareness. So that's one of huge number one benefits to practicing self-awareness is the ability to command and control the direction of our inner life, which of course equals to our outer life. Not just material, but all our communication, our relationships, our jobs, all these massive parts of our lives. So one of the next really huge benefits of a self-awareness practice is improved critical thinking skills and decision making. And by the way, all of this is proven by science. Just want you to know there's been hundreds, if not thousands, of peer-reviewed studies, controls, all, the most professional research done on the planet with universities like Harvard and Oxford and MIT and just the best on the planet studying meditation, self-awareness, and how the benefits are just massive. And that's why for thousands of years, all the ancient mystics and teachers have been trying to tell us this is really important to take time to learn how to do these practices, because it increases the benefits to your life across the board. So how much better would your life be if you're not wasting your time on negative emotions and your critical thinking is increased significantly? Now when you're thinking about your life, thinking about decisions that you're going to make for your life, which we make thousands a day, right? We make so many decisions all day long. So if you're increasing your emotional intelligence, making much better decisions all day long, just imagine 5, 10, 15 minutes a day of self-awareness practice. And then your whole life just starts to get so much better on a regular basis, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. You just wake up a couple years later with a much better, happier, less stressed, more successful life. Who doesn't want that? And it's not hard, but it does take a certain level of commitment, a certain level of practice, a certain level of focus and follow through. And I'm telling you, if you do this on a regular basis, you are going to be so happy. All right, I've got to go do some other things, so I'm going to give you one more that's really quite amazing, and that is it strengthens our communication and relationship skills. Who doesn't care about relationships, right? Even if you're, too cool for school and you're not so worried about any sort of romantic relationship in your life, what about your friends? What about your family? What about your business relationships? All of those, I'm sure, matter to you, even if you're not focused in romance right now, which is totally fine. But if you are focused in romance, like I am, and you want your relationship, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your whatever it is the kids are doing today, people are in like 3-person relationships, whatever, doesn't matter. Whatever relationships you're in that you care about, self-awareness is going to help you manage them. I promise you. I mean, it's one of the most amazing practices for relationships. I can attest to this literally thousands of times over the last 20-something years, where self-awareness has helped me in my relationships to say something different, not say anything at all, and just listen to my partner. Just give them a chance to communicate. Just say, how are you feeling about X? And that's it. You just stop. Your mind may want to respond, chatter, all these different things. You just let all of that go. Just focus on the words that they're saying, the vibration in what they're uttering, literally listening to their voice box. And you're just connected with them in such a deep, profound, powerful way. And I highly recommend it. So, huge advancement, just a quick review, huge advancement in your emotional intelligence, a huge advancement in your critical thinking and decision-making processes, and a huge strengthening of your communications, relationship skills. I mean, it goes on and on about learning and leadership and empathy. I mean, it just keeps going on and on, the benefits of a daily significant self-awareness practice. But just with what I've shared today should be tremendously helpful to your life. Please practice it. I've got dozens of podcasts on mindfulness, meditation, self-awareness, all for free. Go listen. Please share this. Please like it. Please give me a positive review if you found this helpful. I appreciate you very much. Matt O'Grady Coaching.